the word's kind of weird, you know. You'd think this would be down here closer based on the name, and it always throws students for some, I mean, obvious reasons, but oligopoly is much more like a monopoly. Few producers, I'll explain all that in a second. Lots of producers, kind of a homogeneous product, but they get us with their advertising, so we really believe that there's differences when maybe there's not. And I'll show you what that looks like, and what the advantages and disadvantages are. Alright, so there's kind of the spectrum, and we're going to start with this, and we'll get to that in a minute. Oligopoly. This is actually, for both of these slides, is exactly the same. So if you want to maybe leave a little space, kind of, well, I'll show you where. Like the first 5 slides are identical. It's just filling in the blanks. I'll show you where that is in a second. So current slide. So imperfect markets refer to the two that fall in between. And this is the real world. Everything is somewhere in between, right? Even the beers, they're not a perfect monopoly. They try, but they're not perfect. Tomatoes, you know, there is really, truly some effect on price, I would think. If some big farm holds out, they probably could put an impact on the price and drive the price up a little bit. You know, may not be to their benefit, but they could still probably do it. You know what I'm saying? All right, so in between are the two types. And like I said a second ago, this is the same. When we do monopolistic competition, it's the exact same. So it's like you're setting them both up here, and I'll tell you where to make some space for the other. Oh, you're not testing, are you? That'd be a shame. Facebook will be there when you're done, I promise. You know, when I was done with Facebook is when I had a friend named Becky who said, I'm going to go take a shower. And the 58 people went thumbs up, liked it. I think I'm done. I spent 20 years getting away from you people, and it takes one fell swoop. And not you people, my classmates there. You know, and you guys are still, it's the exact same. Okay, imperfect competition, which have, well, you can do it for yourself. This is the setup. Includes industries which have competition, but not enough to be totally in control of the market. And they still, to a degree, they still have to take the price to be given. They can't, even if they're, you know, somewhat oligopolistic, they don't have complete control. And I'll explain that in a second. There's still competition. Okay.
I see.
Good. So then, are we okay? Okay, then here's the definition of both of them. That's important. And then, I mean, obviously this applies to both.
We got a screen thing.
Norton. Did you know that Norton, the guy, sold his interest in his antivirus? There's a, what the hell is the name of it?
McAfee?
I don't know. He was just a, you know, one of those nerds in Simi Valley, wherever. Paris and then sold it to
McAfee.
McAfee. And McAfee paid him some, outrageous amount of money. And the dude is a loser. And he got
The
paid
Norton guy?
billions of dollars, not even billions, but $1 billion. And he can't stay out of jail. He drives, wrecks $200,000 cars. He's flying around the world, knocking girls up. It's like, why couldn't I invent that? I'd be so much better at it.
Knocking girls up?
I'd wreck cheap cars. You could do so much for your community and your society. You could do so much, it's just a waste of oxygen, Okay, so everybody kind of okay with this? Now we're going to talk about oligopoly. And it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot like this in the market structure. It's just that there's more than one player. And I see a few folks still writing. And then up through this screen in monopolistic competition is the same too. So you won't have to rewrite that. And then here's some examples. Are you guys okay? Not yet. Just the way my days go. That was great. Everybody okay? Okay, here's some examples. And this is on the PowerPoint, so you don't really, you do whatever you want, but that's on the PowerPoint. It's on the monopolistically competitive one. I'll put this up today so you don't have to redraw all this stuff. But monopolies, we talked about that, the cable TV, natural monopolies, oligopolies, where they have kind of a lock on the market, but there's more than one producer. Tennis balls, it's a funny example, but if you think about it, it works. Name, how many brands of tennis balls are there, really? Well, let's try it. Somebody said Wilson. So I'll bet we can't come up with 10. I'll bet.
Does Spalding make tires?
Spalding.
Or are they just basketballs?
What else?
Nike. I can't think of any.
Nike?
I don't know.
And Nike's kind of a stretch because they're so kind of into everything. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they're not
I
special.
think they more just brand it, they take the other balls and put the brand
I
on
heard
it.
somebody say Prince. That's definitely, that's tennis stuff. What else?
I'm looking it up.
Is it one? Pen?
Pen. You see what I mean? There's not tons of them. You think our tennis balls are everywhere, but there really isn't that many brands. It's because it's a kind of a locked up market. And so, people can't just get in and start making tennis balls because it's specialized enough that competition gets kept out. Monopolistic competition, where it's really all about advertising. And let me give you the best example I know of, is that when we go, what's a great movie that's out right now? I've heard the James Bond movie. I heard that's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many of you seen Skyfall? 10 maybe, if that. Okay, what's another movie that's competing with Skyfall right now? Twilight. How many of you seen Twilight? Everybody else. Okay, are they the same thing? Skylight and
Absolutely
Skyfall?
not.
Skylight, Twilight.
Skyfall.
Skylight and Twilight. Are they the same thing?
No.
I disagree with you. Because what do you do when you go see a movie? We shuffle in.
You mean product-wise or story-wise?
The process. We walk to the theater. Let's just say we go to movies 10. We park, okay? So far we're doing the exact same thing, are we not? We walk in, we buy an $8 popcorn, well we buy an $8 ticket. So far identical experience. We buy an $8 popcorn and a $4 Pepsi. So far identical experience. We go in, we sit in a theater for 120 minutes or whatever. We have this flash in front of us, and then we leave. And what's the difference between the two experiences, really?
Your experience.
Well, yeah, but it's not fundamentally any different. Going to see Skyfall and Skyrim and...
The product itself isn't different.
Yeah, but the process is identical. You see what I'm saying? And so how do they lure you to go see the little vampire movie and they lure other people to go see the little James Bond movie?
Advertising.
Advertising.
Interest.
It's all about advertising, but the process is identical. You see what I'm saying? The act of going to a movie, whether you see a R movie or a kid movie, is identical. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about oligopolies. And they have some interesting features. What it is think of it as few producers, and the best example is OPEC. Okay, the go-to example, I should say, OPEC. Okay, the oil-producing nations. There's about 20 of them, lots of Middle Eastern countries, some in South America. But, you know, they produce and they act as a group. They act as basically as a union of oil producers. As a result of that, then they can control the price more. Because they can agree as a group to produce more or less, which can drive the price up or down. Right? Everybody with me? All right. But they have a problem. Are you guys all done with this? Done? Okay, so they have this issue. Everybody okay? And the issue is pretty simple. There's an incentive to break away from the pack. And I'll show you what that means. So here's the characteristics. I jot that down. That's just good info. Just so it's not a waste of time, I'll make sure to go backwards and incorporate this into the final exam. You know, a few questions, just to make sure this class isn't a waste of your time, besides the education that I hope you're getting out of it. So they're best off acting, they're best, an oligopoly. Let's just narrow it down to just 2 players just to keep it simple. Instead of, I know there's 20 in OPEC or whatever. Let's make 2, make it easy. All right, so they have these 2 players, they're producing oil. All right, now if they were to act as a monopoly, then they would produce where marginal revenue, marginal cost intersect, and then they would charge it to their demand. If they wanted to increase the price, they could just lower their output a little bit, right? Cause the supply curve to move around. Yeah.
Do they have to lower the supply, or could they just adjust the price?
Well, they're stuck with the demand curve, right? And so the price is pretty well set because the demand is there. But what they do is they change their supply, which causes people to have to move along their demand curve.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And so they don't really change the price, they just cause changes to the value of the gas per how much money we have in our pocket. Does that make sense? And they do that too. I mean, gas right now is falling in price. Reason is OPEC has increased their output. Reason is because the United States is saying, piss on you guys, we don't need you as much. Because we've got the Canadian shale fields and we're starting to do offshore oil. We don't, and besides, you know, the little thing with BP in the Gulf, we don't need you. And we're going to start having fuel-efficient cars now, and we've turned some road. And so they're trying to drive the price down to keep us addicted to their oil. True story. Okay, everybody okay? So everybody agrees that the best thing to do is that if you and I are producing oil, and us 2 are the whole duopoly, the oligopoly of 2, that what we should do is cooperate. And then you and I agree to the amount that will maximize our profits. In other words, we'll both produce half of what it'll take to get the marginal revenue, marginal cost to intersect at the most efficient scale. And then we'll charge up to the demand curve, and that's the most money we can make. All right? Does that make sense? So you produce half, I'll produce half. We'll get the price up to where we can, we'll produce at the efficient scale, minimize our cost, and then we'll just charge up to our demand curve. And we'll both do as good as we can possibly do, right? Everybody following that? But there's an inherent problem here, and that is, you guys ready? Okay, so, well, here, let me give you this first. So here's a duopoly. You have, this is just a monopoly's output and price scale. Okay, so if there's two of us, right, we have to think about each other. What's the profit maximizing output? 60. Okay, so that means you produce 30, I produce 30. We'll both be at a price of $60, and we'll both be garnering $1,800. Is that not true? Everybody cool with that? Okay, so we're in equilibrium right now. Now, as a monopoly, if I want to sell more, what do I do? If since I'm the only game in town, if I want, remember the water, it was at $11, we sold nothing, $10, we sell one. You remember that? I lower the price. So if I'm a monopoly, if I want to sell more, I lower the price. Well, I'm in this agreement with you guys, okay? But I noticed that if I want to sell more, what I can do, let's just say this is me, and this is you, is that for a while, at least, what I'm going to do is I am going to increase my output. Let me make sure I don't screw this up. It's going to be 40. I'm going to make 40 times $50. So I increase my output from 30 to 40, which causes the price to fall. Everybody with me? Okay, what's the total here?
2,000.
Ha
See, but then the other guy gets
Well,
screwed.
this guy's sitting here. Let me make sure I do. Okay, so this guy, you guys are sticking to your agreement. I've increased my production, but driven the price down, and so now you guys are making, you follow what I'm saying? And you guys are saying, what the hell? That's not cool. We had an agreement. Now you're getting rich off of our backs. Follow?
Mm-hmm.
So what did they do?
They
What did you do?
Make more.
You're going to say, well, the hell with you. If you increase your output, we're going to increase ours too. So you guys go to 40. Now we're both at 40 times $40 now, because we've driven the price down again, equal to
1,600.
1,600. And there we are. And we're stuck. We can't go back now. This is how oligopolies will always operate. They're always stuck right there. It's called the dominant position. You can't go back. And the reason is, once you have this agreement, somebody cheats and makes a bunch of money on my back. I increase my production because I'm not going to put up with that. And now we're stuck here. And so we're producing too much. We've driven the price down lower than it really should be in a monopoly situation. But I have no choice, because if we want to get back to there where we can really be making the best profit possible, can we do that?
No.
Can we go back to point A? Sure we can. You go first.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We can get back there, but you go first. So that means for a while you're going to have to take a hit while I get rich. And no country's going to do that. Nobody's going to do it. So we're stuck here. And that's how oligopolies work. It's about because you can't trust the other dude. Yeah.
How come B didn't sell 40 when they went to $50?
Here?
Yeah.
Well, see, we started 30 and 30. And I got sneaky, right? Didn't stick to our contract, so I increased my production to 40.
By lowering the price.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. It's the direction of the change is ambiguous. Either I increased this, which lowered the price, or the price started to fall, so I increased it. Yeah, probably this way though. And so what happened is I increased my production, which caused the price to fall. But look how much I'm making now. And you're here. You're saying, what the hell? I was making $1,800 yesterday, and because of you, now I'm making $1,500. So you only have one choice. You increase your production too.
Now, does the price continue to go down because the market's flooded now?
No, it's just this is the natural operating position right here.
Okay.
Now they re-agree and they reconvene and they have meetings and they shake each other's hands in OPEC and say, couldn't we just all get along? And they can get back to here. Everybody simultaneously drops their output. We get back to here, and then no disrespect, I mean, I don't care, but the big cheater seems to be Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia will say, okay, we got the price way up now, because we all were agreeing, let us increase our production. And then everybody will follow, and the price in the U.S. will go down. And then we'll come back over here. Go ahead.
Why didn't A increase its production on the last one when it dropped to 40?
Here?
Yeah.
We can try that. You want to increase production again?
Well, it'd just be at 2,000 and the other one would be at 1,600.
Here?
Yeah.
So you're saying one more?
Oh no, like why didn't they increase it to 50, right?
Well, we could try that. Let's see what happens.
It's just gonna lower the.
So you're saying this to go to 50?
No, that's 40. The third one, why isn't that 50?
It's just the second one catching up. That's just showing the second one going, well, crap, you brought it up, so I'm bringing it up now, and I'm catching up with you. And that's where they have to stay at.
So this is exactly as this here. It's just that the price has fallen. Because company or country A has increased their production, causing the price to fall. And so these guys haven't done anything except watch their profits go down. Yeah. Does that answer? There was one over here. No.
I'm just wondering, like Las Vegas hotels, motels, they all have different themes, but they're all really the same. You can get a room for $20.
Right.
They probably should be charging 120. Is that the same thing as an oligopoly?
Same thing, yeah. Hotel rooms are oligopolistic, and they tend to all be here. And that's why, if you've ever noticed, the prices move together. If you want to book at Circus or New York, the prices are virtually identical because they're stuck, they're married to each other. If I lower my price, then that guy's going to lower his price, and it hurts all of us, you know. And then during spring break or whatever, we're all here because we can be. Yeah.
It's supposed to be illegal to get together and.
Yeah, it's collusionary. Yeah, of course, OPEC's international, but you know, if you work at Circus, it's not that hard to look across the street at the marquee at New York and say, hey, they've lowered their prices. You know what I mean? All right, so everybody okay with that concept? All right, that's called the prisoner's dilemma. This is what we just talked about. Collusion in the cartel. That maybe jot that down. It's really more for the next chapter, but it's. I'll tell you what. I'll put it on the exam so that there's a reason for writing it down. Let me make a note so I don't forget. Okay. So is everybody okay with the concept there? So you'd like to be here. Inevitably somebody's going to cheat because they can make some money in the short run, which forces the good guy or the person who's sticking to the contract to increase their output too to keep up. So the oligopolies are always stuck here. Monopolies are here. And that's a monopoly. One producer controlling everything. An oligopoly is here. Two producers that can't trust each other. Everybody okay? Okay. Too many things to remember today. named John Nash, who he's an economist. He's still around today. He actually used to take, when he would go, he was enrolled in economics classes at, I think it was Harvard. Don't hold me to that. And he wouldn't go to class because he would go, when he did go to class, the instructor would just confuse him. Because he knew so much, you know, he would just go to class and he would just get confused in the lesson. And then he was better off just not going to class and then taking the exams. And he was, you know, he was very, very smart guy. So where all that came from is this. And this is just this is kind of fun to watch. I hope you enjoy it. This is, you know, Russell Crowe, Beautiful Mind, where he came up with the idea of this.
It'll probably come up after the advertisement.
Shareable data across 10 devices with unlimited talk and text. Get enjoy incredible 4G LTE by HTC for $49.99.
Did I beat up my
Governing that.
There you go.
Governing dynamics. Adam Smith is wrong. Thank you.
And to show you how infallible.
I have written very.
Okay, so to show you that it never fails, I need volunteers. I'm gonna need, come on down. I need, let's go with 8. And it'll be worth it a lot. Okay, so I've got, you're in, come on down. You're in.
I suppose.
Should I get the soundtrack ready?
Yes. So how many do we have now? We have.
It's all the same volunteers from last time.
Last time I was like on my 5th day.
Is he coming down? Are you
That's
coming
true.
down?
Yeah, I got rid of the temperature. I didn't know what was going on.
So we have 8.
No. I'm sitting up in the back.
It'll be worth it. Evidently we need one more. Well, it'll be worth your time. Come on,
Do
one
it.
more.
There you go, Rick.
All right, Rick, way to step up. Okay. So Rick, you'll be on this side. Okay. Let me get my thing out here. Oh, that's not good. My stuff. It is. Okay. Gonna need you guys broken up into. You guys are over there, 4 of you, and then 4 of you on this side. And then I'm gonna find my papers. And then somebody who's good at math, if you could kind of keep track of the numbers here. What the hell did I do to this? Oh, here. Yeah, that's not this. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. We'll go, I don't know, we'll probably go about 10 times or something like that. The governing dynamics, it never fails. You guys, we'll give you a second to talk, okay, so you kind of have a strategy. But let me explain what you're looking at here. If you both turn up, you have cards, if you could show everybody those cards. Okay, if you turn up, you'll have it'll be 3, 2, 1, turn up your card, okay? If you both turn up red, you get 3 prizes, okay, both of you. If you turn up black, and you turn up red, then you guys will get 5. You guys get nothing. Does that make sense? Based on this? Is that clear? Okay, you guys turn up. What? Say that again?
Are we B?
Your team.
A.
Yeah, your team A. Did I get it backwards? No, I got it right. So if you guys turn up black and they turn up red, then they get 5. You guys get.
If we put black and they put red?
Okay, if you put black and they put red, you get 0, they get 5. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's.
Does this need to be cleaned up a little bit? It's kind of ambiguous.
No, I get it.
Is everybody kind of get it?
So we put up red, we're bound to get at least 3. If we put up black, we could.
Yeah, that's kind of the governing dynamics there. So I'll just split it like that. So it's 0, 5. This would be 5, 0, and this would be 4. Does that make sense? So if you both put up black, you both get 4. If you both put up red, you both get 3. If you put up black and you put up red, they get 5, you get black.
Because either you get black, either you get 4 or 5.
Well, that's for you guys to figure out. Now you guys we'll do probably about 6 or 7 turns. And like I said,
We do what's best for both of us.
there you go. You guys are right on track. And just like I
always get 5 or 4, so.
This is for you.
You put up black every time.
Okay, if you guys put up,
will get more money if you put up black every time.
yeah, if you guys put up black, you guys are either gonna get $5 or $4. And if you put up black, don't put up red. You're gonna get
Don't put up red at all.
If you put up red, you'll get free receipt.
If you trust me, it's free.
Why would we put red?
We're not greedy. This is a team game.
Even if
We're all
you
the
guys,
same.
Yeah. You guys put up red and they put black, we get 0 and they get 5.
Okay, alright, how do we start?
No, because the next time, then it's screw everything up. So just stick to a plan.
Just don't be yourself.
Yeah, because if you guys put up black, if any of us put up red, you're gonna get touched.
Don't be, somebody up here said, don't be selfish.
No. Next time, it's $5 at once. If we keep putting a black, we keep getting $4. It's black, we only get $1. So, it's black. You guys ready?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, so we're doing more than 4 plus 4.
Well, hopefully they're not shy over there. You guys are doing black.
Are we trying to get, like,
It's not a higher, it's not right now we're partners.
we're not trying to get higher?
We're like circus artists and they're like
Okay, whatever you got.
I know, seriously.
okay, ready?
Better raise is going up.
Okay, we ready? Yeah. Okay, on the count of 3. On the count of 3, raise the bar. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, good.
good job.
Good, see if we
You
can
should do
do
this
that
$4
every
per team.
time.
I could make it last a lot longer. No, I'll stick to this. Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
black.
Yeah, we're going again. Who's doing it again?
No,
You're
I'm
doing it
gonna
again.
no, you got it.
You want to do it? I don't know. Yeah, what's that?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. One, two, three.
Look at this.
Let's keep doing this. That's a success, right?
Come on, we don't need to screen connect.
One, two,
I smell
three.
free lunch. Yes.
I know how you can make it really.
1, 2, 3.
Let's keep going.
See, let's just watch them.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Someone put a red up.
1, 2, no. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, see, we're good. Good volunteer.
One. I've got maybe one more, maybe 2 left.
Okay.
I was thinking about going.
2,
She's in like take a
3.
Good.
Last one. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you guys are
Yes.
Hold on, no.
No way.
They usually go right.
Split it up even.
Yes. Come on. All of this class.
He gives us a odd number.
You guys are set up.
I want
You guys maybe work it out after class.
It's gonna happen.
Let's give him an extra call.
Everybody's counting all of them. I'm ready. Who's got my red and black?
Yes. For lunch. Buy new pair of shoes.
got it.
I go there like every day.
Okay, that was lame.
That was
You guys are lame. I need to make it worth more to cheat than obviously.
Hundreds.
That was a cartel.
It should be
Yeah, I
Well,
said that.
collusion.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the rest of my team to tell me I can't just go behind my team's back too.
I would have. Because you could have made some money, you know.
Someday. No, you.
Some
Because
pennies.
you could
On those George
have,
Washington.
you could have taken the last $10 from them. You could have.
So she would have had all of it if she put red?
No, just, you guys were, you know, you're earning equal money, but right, I said there's 2 more left. Black, you guys would have said, hoop on you, and then you would have both, or she would have gone red, they would have won it all, then you would have gone red to prevent it from happening again, and it would have split the last little bit of money.
So she would have got 5 and we would have each done 3 of the last.
Well, no, she would have gotten 5, and then she would have gotten 3 more plus your 3. She would have gotten 8 to your 3.
Yeah.
You know, and if it were me, I'd have done it.
$3 more dollars.
Yeah.
4 more dollars.
I'm not a greedy person.
Well, because she put black, it was that 4 for her.
Right.
I know.
But she could, what I'm saying is that she
She
could
got
have,
5 and 3.
yeah, she could have taken you guys out. I mean, but she's too nice. So now you each got, what, $6, $7 to go buy a coffee at Starbucks?
Class together Thursday.
Yeah.
Maybe we have the rest of the semester due.
You can make up. Okay, oligopoly, okay, I think that's it. All right, let me do monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition, there's actually something I want to get to here. Make sure.
That would have come a long way.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, monopolistic competition. This won't take very long, I don't think. Okay, so oligopoly is where 2 countries or 2 people or whatever they have to trust each other. And in business, it's called the prisoner's dilemma. And in businesses, you adopt the dominant strategy. I guess that's the point. You guys are nice, and I appreciate that. But in business, when you're out there making deals to buy mortgages and securities and stuff like that, you're not going to show your black card because I trust this guy. There's no way. You've got to protect yourself, and you've got to always have that strategy where I don't give a shit what he does. I'm protected.
What if he has like a good thing going?
Well, if you do, you got a great partnership. Great. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm talking about in the world, the people from, you know, and you can deal with some Yahoo from Utah. No offense to anybody, but they don't care about you, and they don't have to sit next to you in class. And given an opportunity, they're going to show their black card and their red card, and they're going to try to take you out. Because why wouldn't I? You know, I take the money and that person goes away, bad business person, and we're done. You always have to adopt that strategy. Okay, monopolistic competition. That's on that side of the spectrum. You don't have to write anything here. This is from the last slideshow. Here's the same exact thing. Movies are monopolistically competitive. You've already done this. Everybody got this written down? Is that okay?
Yes.
Good? Everybody good? Attributes of monopolistic competition. I think we did that already, yeah?
Nope.
Okay, do this.
Yeah, sure.
So let me kind of explain this and then get down to what it means really. Is that the monopolistic competitor is the products are really differentiation, big part. The products are very similar, but we have in our minds that one product is way better than another because of the advertising. And so there's really fundamentally, probably 1 degree of separation between a Big Mac and or a quarter pounder with cheese and a Whopper with cheese. They're very similar things, but all of us have in our head which one's better. We can even probably list all these reasons why. You see what I mean? Or Coke versus Pepsi, which one's better and why. And so what they do is they're really kind of almost because they have the downward sloping demand curve, they try to get us to buy into one thing or the other with product differentiation. They try to get us to acknowledge differences in their products that don't really exist. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So here's just a couple of things. I don't know, we've already talked about this. Books, CDs, movies, everybody kind of get the idea. So far so good. Alright, and so how do they get us to buy into it is product differentiation. And that is this.
Would that kind of be like smartphones? Like you have a Droid or an iPhone?
Totally. Totally. I mean, the technology, you know, is probably, I don't know that much, but if you think about it, the technology is probably 2 degrees of difference, but people will die on their sword saying, oh, a Droid is so much better. You know, but really, you know, you hand me one or the other, I can make calls, I can look at porn, I'm good. No, you know. Just making sure you're paying attention.
Is that going to be on the test?
Everybody's like, awkward. I don't know where to go with that. I'm just kidding. But no, your point is made. And then, like, I have an iPhone, and how do I feel? I'm looking at iPhone 5, but I'm scared because of all the recalls that are coming. Because they just haven't done all that yet. And I've even looked at a Samsung Galaxy 3. And everybody I've talked to said Samsung's awesome, but everybody who owns an iPhone says if you get rid of your iPhone, you're going to miss that home button.
There's a home button.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, but it's electronic, right? It's not just a
It's not like a button.
button, yeah. And from all the people I've talked to have said, well, once you get used to that iPhone home page, then it's really hard to switch to something
Which is
else.
weird because like I had a Droid and when I got the iPhone, like it was fun, but like I didn't. It was like a foreign language. Like I
You
didn't
get
know how
used
to
to it.
use it. Yeah, now I'm used to it and thinking about that home button.
Yeah.
I think it would be.
So, but really, same thing, you know. Okay, free entry or exit. This you've already got. Okay, so I gotta jump ahead. I want to get through this before we leave today. Okay, so what is it that they have that makes them different? Is advertising. I spent a whole class one time doing that. What we just kind of went through. I spent a whole class going through it and realized what a complete waste of time. Nobody cares. Okay, advertising. So how does McDonald's beat Burger King? Or how does, iPhone beat Droid? They do it through their advertising. And advertising is really powerful. And it's really powerful tool. 20% of their budgets, there's some stuff coming up, goes into their advertising. That advertising is really key to selling more product than the other guy. And I'll give you an example. For those of you, that looks like everybody pretty much is taking notes, but have a pencil and paper ready. Yeah, just your notes is fine. And once you get this written down. Good? Okay. Let me make sure I don't give it away.
Did you get all of it?
Hey, what? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Up to advertise.
Okay, just play
In
along.
order to attract more
And I'll give you a
buyers to
second to
particular product.
put your stuff down on paper. Alright,
Mind games.
ready?
I like mind games.
It's advertising, that's all it is. Okay, advertising 101. I'm gonna get you to buy something. Okay, everybody get a pencil ready? to touch each of the two. Just kind of point at it.
Wait, each.
Just one, two, something.
Okay.
On the paper or?
Just on
Just
there.
up here on this screen.
Got it.
Got it?
Music is awesome. Oh, that's
Okay.
nice.
Everybody, don't say what you're just write it down. Okay, don't say it. Don't say it. Just write it down. Everybody got it?
Yep.
I spelled
That's
lemon.
that's
That's not this. Okay. And be totally honest. How many of you wrote carrot?
What the?
because you're thinking of a diamond. 14 karat, 18 karat, 24 karat.
I just thought of a random number.
Okay.
I was like, what's next? 32?
So, now, that means that hold on. This next, there's another video coming up. It's, a lot of it's kind of, I don't know, some of it's, but let me make this point, is that if I'm McDonald's, and I can get 60, maybe 70% of you to think carrot, you see what I mean? That's powerful stuff. So when you walk into my restaurant and you're thinking carrot, I'm going to have, carrot juice on the menu. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's powerful. That's how they do it. Okay, yeah.
What little, some little things does McDonald's do that make you...
I have some of those coming up. Okay. Now, the next thing is that this video is probably 5 minutes long, but it's definitely a rated R, kind of even borderline X. There's some things in there that are referencing, human genitals, yada yada. And I have to. This is serious. And so if anybody isn't comfortable, it's just advertising is what it is. But if anybody has a problem with that or isn't comfortable with that, you're free to go, and it won't count against you or anything like that. It's just you're free to leave if you're not comfortable with that. If you're okay with it and all that, and okay.
Nobody moves.
So there's you've been warned. Okay, this is kind of a pretty risky
Adult
stuff.
themed.
And I'll stop and point out some of the things here and there that people miss a lot because you should see it. It's like, holy cow. It's like, I can't believe that they show us this stuff, but they do. All right, so anyway, anybody who needs to go, you're free to go. And absolutely no remediation. Just take off. Okay?
Can you turn the lights off? I'm just kidding.
Don't look at me while I ask this. Okay, and I'll try to point out a few of the things that seem to slip by people. And some of these, it's like, I don't know.
It's like the Illuminati.
This is all advertising. It's all about advertising. I used to have this poster on my wall when I was in college, and I never ever saw sex in there ever.
Sex, I see it.
Oh wow.
No?
F
You
S
remember that thing on the bottom?
E
Oh,
S.
I didn't see
Did you see it?
Yeah.
You remember that thing on the bottom?
Say that
Yeah, I
again.
figured.
Never mind. See the SEX?
They have something like that on the mountain mics. Have you ever seen the mountain mics
Yeah.
mountain? The little shadow
Yeah,
in the.
so there's and I even had that on my wall in my room and never saw it.
When you were a kid? Wow.
It was for, you know,
Yes, I was looking.
high time or something. I
Make
don't
your
know.
eyes so deep.
Well, I was looking at it, not like.
Oh, yeah. Not
And I'll point out a couple more. I don't want to go on and on, but okay. Just to give you guys a sense of where we're going there.
You got crushed in the clinch.
Do you? And I don't want to get all graphic and weird or anything, but look at his left hand, his left hand. Look what he's holding, for God's sakes.
What?
Yeah.
On her back?
Yeah.
No way.
What is it?
I can tell the students gets like, oh.
Whoa!
It's like an outline with a shadowy, yeah, thing on her back.
That's probably better. Are we ready to move on?
It is a shadow. So that's what it's supposed to be.
That'd be a gigantic penis.
There's no way that's How can he cup it like that? He's not even like.
It's just subliminal. It's subliminal.
Zoom in.
This is probably the most graphic of all of them. They don't steal
Played
like
by the best.
Played by the best.
Oh, wow.
There is so much wrong with this section. I don't even know where
Holy crap, dude. Oh my god. Look at the guy right in the front.
And this is for booze, you know. There's so much wrong with it.
That's a Club Med advertisement. Just hang it from the side. Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, classic.
I'm gonna warn you now, if you've never seen this, this will mess you up for the rest of your life. Do you guys know about this? It'll mess you up forever. Is that, see the arrow right here?
Oh.
And now, from here on out, every time you look at FedEx, all you can see is that freaking arrow.
That's good. That's good advertising, though. That's good marketing right there.
I don't know you can